Welcome to a new era of wrestling podcasts, where the hot takes, fantasy booking, nostalgic trips, and everything that happens in your day-to-day life always comes back to the squared circle. It's the Everything is Pro Wrestling podcast with Mike DeSilva, Josh Flanagan, and Nick Flanagan.
And we are back. That's right. After another week off, because listen, guys, I am a scattered brain individual as it is, and as I'm looking to make sure I press record, because that would have been catastrophic.
That's happened before. Arguably our best content.
Right.
Lost files.
I've done that in multiple parts of my life and job before, so it's not fun ever to do that. But anyways, we are back. It is episode. Does anybody know? 23?
Are we on the Jordan episode?
Is this the Jordan episode?
Oh, wow.
Everything's pro wrestling podcast.
Because we went there instead of so. Yeah.
No. I wasn't even thinking that. I am a LeBron is my GOAT fan, but that's not. No, I was just thinking like we really got to bring it today. If this is episode 23,
that's a fair point.
We really got to bring it.
We got to step it up.
Yeah.
Well, LeBron also went to number 6 twice, so he can't be real number 23. You know,
he did it twice.
He did it twice. Miami, and then he did it once in LA for like a year.
Yeah, but that wasn't his choice. They said that he told them too late, and Nike didn't allow it because they already printed the jerseys.
Oh.
So he wanted to get back there to 23, but they were like, nope, you got to wait a year. So
yeah, and I know Bill Russell played a part in it too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
There was like a Bill Russell aspect to it. But anyways, it is episode 23. No matter who your GOAT is.
Yeah, it's a GOAT.
It's a GOAT.
Yeah,
there's consensus across the board here. I don't think anybody else is slotting in there.
A little follow-up on last episode, we were surrounded by turkeys.
Yeah.
The turkeys have not gone away. Actually, I think they've multiplied.
Oh, shit. They're spawning?
Yeah, they're spawning. I think, the spawn is in my backyard somewhere because the last 2 weeks since we've recorded that podcast, they're out here almost every day.
So
you guys might see them tonight, to be honest.
I wasn't going to bring this up at all, but so I live in Pawtucket.
Right.
And there were turkeys in my neighbor's yard this morning.
Okay, this is...
They're following me. On top of that, now that I'm just here, so I got to get this out too. Over the weekend, on Sunday I saw 2 people go by my house, not same time, not spaced out, on horseback.
Wait, what?
In Pawtucket? Yeah, in Pawtucket. I actually have a picture I can show you guys.
What is this, an episode of... what's that show that goes back in time? Homelander or something like that?
Don't watch it.
Well, Homelander is part of the boys.
One.
Oh, no. That's right.
Homeland.
Highland?
Homeland is another one, yeah. Wait, what?
Just normal people
just normal people
okay.
on horseback.
All right. If any of our viewers
That's
are not
even in Darlington
from this area,
would I expect that.
That's
right?
I
would expect that here, where there is woods and stuff.
Yeah.
I live in Pawtucket, which is very much,
You're in Darlington,
suburban,
aren't you?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, technically you're in Darlington.
But even then, which, widely regarded as the nicest area of Pawtucket, I would
never expect horses.
Would blow my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's illegal, and you should call the police, and I hope that they show up on a police horse.
Yeah.
Also, if
that's what I thought
the
it was
case,
at first, because the first guy had brown clothes on, so I'm like, why is there a cop going by on horseback? And then I saw the woman right behind him. I'm like, oh no, these are just 2 normal people on horses all of a sudden in Pawtucket.
Do you think you took the wrong vitamins that morning?
I mean, maybe.
Now, also, this is my other question. Was there any red gas canisters just astray or strewn around your neighborhood? Because maybe Hangman Adam Page is around.
Not that I've noticed.
Okay.
I haven't done a full inspection.
Okay.
You're right. It could have been Hangman.
Yeah, arson may be in the
It could have been Hangman and his wife on a Hunter Horse Helmsley.
Oh,
R.I.P.
I like that.
That's what he had a horse. That's what he called it.
I like it.
Some people take their role playing very serious. There might be somebody role playing Red Dead Redemption.
That's true. They are great choice. Phenomenal games.
Great game.
Yeah.
The intros were just
so good. They were movie level cutscenes.
Yeah, they were.
The animals are just they're here.
My thing is the turkey. If you're a turkey, you feel the chill in the air.
Right.
You know this is not the time you want to be around. Why are you not heading south or anywhere else other than this? You're just making it easy.
Yeah, and it's 20 of them, and I don't know.
We're all eating good.
Maybe they think they band together in numbers.
Maybe.
Regardless, if there's an interruption tonight, it's because the turkeys are back, and I do have videos. To get them on.
They haven't signed their release to come on the pod yet.
Yeah,
they're playing hardball with us, but
we had some people questioning not the legitimacy of the turkeys, because that's a random thing to make up. They were wondering why we didn't put it on video. I do have a video. That I actually sent to Kayfabe Cousins a day later of them in my backyard. I went to take a piss, and I look out my bathroom window in my bedroom. They were laying down. I honest to God, they were laying down in my backyard, like it was fucking like a campground.
Taking over. What if
They're getting way too comfortable out there.
I don't know if this is fantasy booking, but what if somehow your daughter can speak to turkeys?
That would
since the arrival of the turkeys wasn't that far after the arrival of her.
That's a good point.
We did like 15 episodes before she was born. No turkeys.
Not to scare the shit out of me, but she might be the turkey whisperer.
That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I never actually even thought of that. When she coos, it does kind of sound like a gobble. So she might be gobble a little bit.
Here comes dad joke of the century. Are either of you guys good at bowling?
Turkey. Bam. Well, listen, I've bowled a few turkeys in my day. Yeah. Also, we have a tradition the Sunday before Thanksgiving every year in my family that involves turkeys that my uncle raises throughout the year and feeds them very well. Let's just hope that my daughter can't talk to turkeys, because I'll get the final words that I wish that I've always had nightmares about with these turkeys. Like, I'm so thankful that they can't talk to me as they go.
Is that your thing when you guys go around the table at Thanksgiving, Mike? What are you thankful for? So these turkeys can't talk to me. I'm so glad I can't hear their thoughts. Yeah.
The turkey that's in front of me, that was also in front of me Sunday, but had feathers and was alive.
Baby girl could be the reincarnation of one of those turkeys.
Yeah, that's bad.
They could have come back in the form of your beloved daughter.
But maybe they're just here to tell you it's all good.
Yeah, that could be
nah, it's cool. We understand this is what we're for.
We sacrifice ourselves to bring the family together.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, only time will tell.
Yeah. Well,
Thanksgiving's going to be really interesting.
Fly yet, by the way, out of curiosity?
No, they don't fly. They just walk like...
When you actually see it happen, it's a weird sight.
Yeah,
I don't know that
I don't want to see a turkey fly.
I saw it once, and I was like, this is exactly what I pictured, but also not what I pictured, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, because I don't know what I would picture, but I also can picture it.
Exactly, yeah.
So...
That's exactly what it is.
It's... Whatever. Turkey season... We haven't seen any yet today. Just giving you a warning that they're around. They're around, and heads up, turkeys. We're back. Episode 23. The wrestling world has continued. Last week, bad timing by me. Schedule planning, everything just all over the map. Speaking of scheduling, our lead story, probably of the week. I think the biggest story change coming to WWE is starting on October 7th. And to the end of 2024, so leading up to their Netflix debut on Raw, Monday Night Raw is going to 2-hour shows on the USA Network for the rest of their tenure there with the USA Network.
Not only 2-hour shows, but 8 to 10 as well.
Yeah,
not 9 to 11.
Yeah,
Thank God.
That scared me too. Someone has been listening. God bless you.
And... now the questions start to begin. All right, is this a test to see how it does? If people are enjoying it, is this Netflix being like, hey, let's test the waters. Maybe we'll stick with the 2-hour shows on Netflix when they make the transition. You do have a little bit more leeway there because it's not, let's say you have an extra runtime of 15 minutes. Right? You don't have to worry about getting to your next programming, sponsors, all that stuff, because I'm assuming those are going to be baked in to the programming already on Netflix.
Also, like Netflix doesn't have a follow-up show. It's not like they do live.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like they're a TV channel. So Raw's biggest constraint now is going to be building times, because at certain buildings you have to get out by a certain time. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Or ordinances and stuff. But they're used to 11 o'clock shows anyways.
That gives you a nice little buffer.
So. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows if it's a permanent thing. I do know that Flanagan mentioned before the start of the show that you had some birdies chirping.
So from what I read, multiple reports that said when they go to Netflix, they're going back to 3 hours.
Okay.
So unfortunately, so what happened was,
damn it,
Raw's USA contract originally ran out in September, but for some reason the Netflix contract doesn't kick in till January. So they needed somewhere to air in the meantime, and USA was like, "All right, you guys can stay with us." But it's USA's decision to move them to 2 hours, not WWE's decision.
All right.
So they must have something in that time slot that they don't want to move.
Yeah. So that's also why it's the rest of the year, because this is the time that they weren't supposed to be on USA anymore on Mondays.
That makes sense.
So then this wasn't a WWE decision, unfortunately, because I really wish it would go to 2 hours on Netflix. But it sounds like January, whatever. I don't know if it's the first or not.
No, I think it's the way the dates fall. I think it's the 6th or 7th.
Okay.
Which
so January 6th is going to be 3 hours again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Damn it! I was when I heard that news.
Allegedly, this could change too. Who knows?
Arguably my biggest pop in the last week or two of wrestling was that announcement on the broadcast. Was Joe Tess announced?
Yeah. Tessator
so
announced it.
That was probably my big. I was like, holy shit, 8 to 10. Like finally, as an old man and really aging, it's so hard to stay up. Usually I'll make it till about 9:30, 10, and then I'll end up watching that last hour the next morning.
I do the same.
Because it's so hard. So that was like music to my ears. I remember as a kid when it was 2 hours.
Right.
And loved it. Obviously, at that point, like begging mom to stay up that 9 to 10 was always hard, but it was a lot easier than trying to navigate 10 to 11. So I was really, really hoping this was a WWE decision. But I can also understand a lot of money going to Netflix and being able to get that extra hour and how much that's worth, etc. So I get it, but damn, I was really hoping this was a permanent change.
And I will say, though, I guess the one positive about the 3 hours is it's extra time to get more people on
TV.
Yeah. Like, I do wonder from October to the end of the year how many people are going to suffer from not being on TV that would have been. Like,
very true.
Perfect example, I mean, the Final Testament, are they going to be on TV on a 2 hour Raw as opposed to a 3 hour Raw?
Well, they've kind of had a curveball thrown into their storyline.
They have, they have. But I mean, even the storyline before that, was that really like a prominent, we got to get this in these 2 hour Raws? Like, I don't know.
No, it's going to be scarce. It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely. And you think of I think of a Ricochet who would have been probably a prime example, but probably wouldn't have got any airtime in that final hour, who made the jump. I highly doubt this played any part in decision making unless it was widely known internally. But yeah, I think that a lot of folks are going to be negatively impacted. Yeah. No fault of their own.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I right, for the last few months. So at least it's like, it's not a permanent thing as long as come January, back to Netflix, back to 3 hours, you'll be able to fit everybody in.
It's like a 3 month period, give or take. So like, if it does well and they get a lot of fan support, who knows? WWE might be like, well, people love it, so maybe we will do 2 hours on Netflix.
And I think more than ever, they're open to it. Now, obviously, like contractually, can they even do that? Are they set into, hey, we're doing 3 hours, whether it's for the first 6 months, first year, then we revisit, we'll see. But I mean, I am at least excited by the fact that they usually listen to the fans, at least in this regime. So at least if that door is potentially open at all, that'd be great. But also, one person won't have to worry about the hour being shortened because they'll still be able to squeeze that minute in is Giovanni Vinci. So
well, he's also on SmackDown.
Yeah, so SmackDown guy.
I'm very upset about.
We'll get to that in a few, but the thing is with Raw being 3 hours right now, though, it's not so much of. I feel like the show doesn't necessarily drag as much as it used to in like some of the lower times, but it's just like you said, staying up. Yeah. It's the staying up part for me that's difficult and having to catch up the next day. And I am happy that at least Netflix will be a lot easier to pick up where you left off, in my opinion, because for me it's just an easier app to navigate. Whereas like right now I use YouTube TV and it's not terrible, but it's just logging into multiple devices. They're very strict with that, even if it's within your own IP, whatever. But yeah, so anyways, Raw, at least for the next few months, starting in October, will be down to 2 hour episodes. And that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, like you said, what storylines become the priorities, which ones don't, who gets cut, for lack of a better term, in regards to TV time. I'm also very curious. TV ratings are always such a big point of contention when it comes to wrestling. It was massive during the Monday Night Wars. That was like the whole kit and caboodle when everybody was talking 83 about
83 weeks, baby. Right.
And now AEW and WWE, there's always like numbers this, numbers that.
Especially AEW, that's ridiculed almost daily with ratings.
Yeah, and it's fans being fans. It's stupid. It's similar to artists and album sales and streams and all that shit. It's whose line's it anyway, basically. It's like, the points don't matter and the numbers are all made up. Whatever. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it's something like that.
Reverse order, but yeah.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm curious to know when they go to Netflix, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
Like what are going to be the analytics they get from that? I'm sure they'll talk about viewers. They can track all that, but like Nielsen they're not giving ratings for Netflix.
No, well, so I know just because it's the closest example we have, Amazon with the NFL, they use it as, well, look at how many subscribers we have now. And the NFL was what raised this up, according to them. I don't actually think it is, but according to them, they look at how many subscribers I have. I can see Netflix doing the same thing.
Yeah, but like Meltzer on a Tuesday, what's he going to say for viewership on Raw? Is he going to be like, they pulled a 5.9 and then an 18 to 49 share or whatever?
When it goes to streaming, I don't think that stuff's going to matter to them. I don't think they'll care about, at least not for Raw, the ratings anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It's just going to be interesting.
I don't even think they really care that much now because TV ratings aren't what they were in the Attitude Era. No. TV's not what it was in the 90s.
Right. So it's a valid point, but it's just always a part of the conversation when you think about wrestling, episodic wrestling shows where everybody goes back to the ratings and viewership and this and that.
Yeah. You had your season premieres this last week where you're very intentional about the matches and maximizing that premiere because of where it is slotted against other ratings, etc. So.
And being in radio and understanding how books work and quarters and work, I get where you kind of juice certain quarters at certain times because that's a new book. So I can see where the reason why actually even announcing the 2-hour shows a month early probably helped them too.
Yeah.
Probably be like, let me enjoy these last few episodes of 3 hours before it's 2 hours again.
Now some people like that. I'm going to be intrigued next week to see how the third hour almost always drops ratings wise.
Right.
I'm intrigued to see how it goes now that people know that this is my second to last third hour of Raw for a while.
For a few months, yeah. So interesting move. And then on the other end, SmackDown is moving to USA Network. They had their final SmackDown on Fox last Friday. Really no big pomp and circumstance around it. Just kind of your very average SmackDown. Very kind of boring SmackDown.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought they would have done... I guess in some ways I would have thought they would have did a little more as a send-off to Fox because I guess like the video package they put together and some of the stuff they were saying was obviously very complimentary of Fox and I mean, there's no denying that SmackDown, and I'm not saying this is necessarily because of Fox. I think it's because of the bloodline. But like the last 5 years since they've been on Fox, SmackDown has skyrocketed in terms of viewership. Right. So many people look at that as the A show now, and it just happened to be on Fox. Right. So there was obviously a great package and a lot of great things to say. But I guess I was expecting a little more. But maybe from WWE standpoint, they're like, well, we're already leaving.
Yeah, why are we going to give you any more?
We want the show next week on USA to be the big show and bring everyone in. So in the moment, I was kind of like, but then in hindsight, I was like, no, that actually would.
The first show on Fox, The Rock was there, right?
Yeah. The Rock was there. Yep.
They also did that bullshit Brock Lesnar squashing Kofi
match.
That
was the first. I forgot.
That was the very first episode of SmackDown on Fox.
I forgot that it was the first episode of SmackDown on Fox.
Yep.
What? When you talk about some terrible booking over the years, that's up there. One of the ones that pissed me off the most.
Same, at least in recent memory.
Yeah,
it's like that. And the Roman Reigns dog food thing that almost caused him to leave WWE.
Yeah.
Those two, I mean, granted, I guess in the hindsight, the dog food thing actually was a good thing because it created bloodline Roman Reigns, which we wouldn't have had otherwise, but it's still a terrible booking idea that almost caused him to leave the company.
Yeah, what a weird time.
It was, and I know, like, for me as a fan, I was checked out in those early Fox days. So, like, even me, Bloodline, like, I can't say I was down with the Bloodline from day one because I wasn't really paying close attention. I obviously went back and did my homework and saw how it all came together, but the Bloodline, the creation of it, and them running roughshod was what pulled me back in.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the exact same as you. I only mostly saw it because it started in the pandemic. I'm like, what the fuck else am I going to do on a Friday night?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So Fox no longer has SmackDown. I think it was cool though. You know what else I remembered this week? I saw it online when Fox randomly hired CM Punk for
the backstage show
for like 5 episodes.
Yeah, because they didn't do a ton. He was there for almost all of them, I think.
No, I remember he didn't do
Talking Smack.
No. I think it was literally called WWE Backstage.
It was on Fox Sports 1.
Sports, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it lasted a while.
It did, yeah.
It did last a while, but he wasn't on as many episodes as I thought he was going to be on. But like,
he wasn't on at the start. The show started before him, and then they brought him on. Like halfway through it because it wasn't doing well ratings wise, and they're like, Fox hired him, not WWE. Because I remember that was a big thing,
right?
Too.
This was like what 2019 or something like that, right? 2020, and it's like, but still to see CM Punk on technically a Fox program at that time, but talking about WWE and their storylines
with everybody else who's a WWE employee,
right? And I remember being like, this is a very strange move on both parts, but I guess that was a big Fox initiative where they were like, listen, we really want CM Punk on the show, regardless of his, it's a Fox and CM Punk thing. It has nothing to do with the WWE, and then you fast forward 4 years later, and who would have thought we'd ever see him in the WWE again?
Wow,
so
shout out to Fox for.
I do think that's a big factor in getting him back to WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also money.
I mean, that's the biggest factor.
Money probably helps a lot as well.
He does not shy away from it.
But I'm
here to make money.
Right. But he came across to me as the type of person who, like, had that Fox thing never happened, he probably still would have turned down the money and not gone back, I think.
Oh, I think it took about as long as it did for that process to take its process. The 9 years or whatever it was, and now 10 years were his first solo match. I think he is the type of person that required that amount of time to heal. Yeah. And I also believe that this is the only business that exists that the things that are said, the things that are done can be water under a bridge if it means you can do good business together. Because, you see it all the time. Like, there's bands that break up forever. There's...
Oasis is getting back together.
Well, they're brothers. I mean, that's different. They're weird.
Despise each other.
They're undiagnosed bipolar disorder. Yeah. I think they need help.
I just always remember, I forget who does the song, but one of them, either Noel or Liam, sings Wonderwall on the album, and they did a live performance on, I want to say it was Letterman, and the other one sang the song for some reason, and then the brother that originally sang the song is up in the balcony just like shit talking him while he's singing.
Yeah, I mean,
on television.
Yeah, I remember
all adds up.
When I think of Oasis, I only really ever think of Liam Gallagher, and I think of TRL as a kid. And I'll never forget this episode. I don't remember when it was or what was going on. Liam Gallagher was on the show for some reason. And I remember him having like the weirdest interview and interaction with Carson Daly where, they look out the window, you're right in Times Square, and like there was an LG sign across, and I remember he was so fixated on the sign, and he just kept saying, "Oh, LG, it's for Liam Gallagher," over and Carson was so like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Me, I'm like, one, who really is this guy? I didn't really know at that time, and I was like, this guy's fucking weird. And then all that stuff happened. I remember the Jay-Z thing at Glastonbury, and all that, and I was just like, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, they're both absolute.
I easily came to that conclusion. Like, this guy sucks.
I love their music. I love their first two albums. I think they're incredible albums, but they are pieces of shit kind of.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Yeah, and I have a lot of buddies, especially folks around our age, maybe a little older, are so excited to see it because everything is pro wrestling. Like, this is either going to go great or this is going to go terrible, but it's going to be must-see TV.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if punches are thrown on stage.
For sure.
We're along for the ride, baby.
Well, speaking, and maybe we want to save this for when we talk about a certain match at...
a theme song that's going to be used?
We'll hold on to that one.
So... Fucking SmackDown done on Fox, clapped.
End of an era.
Cody and Solo, we're getting that again. Bad Blood is the next PLE in line here. It's going to be in ATL. They've been doing the Metro Boomin and Cody teasers.
Still hanging outside.
Still chilling. Metro Boomin, very confused.
It's got a nice 6 o'clock start time.
Love that.
Ooh.
6 p.m. start, which I've been pumped about.
I didn't even know that.
Love that.
Yeah, because apparently there's a UFC fight that night, so they didn't
want
to TKO people.
What's the day again?
October 6th,
5th.
7th?
So I know 5th is a Saturday.
Okay, then
I know that because the 4th is a Friday. I know because my mom and I are going to Wheel of Fortune live, and I'm fucking
Let's go.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Dope.
And she's very excited. And she also doesn't know that I got her the VIP package where she's going to get to spin the wheel.
That's even doper.
She's going to lose her
Damn.
shit.
Fuck yeah.
She's going to lose. She watches
awesome.
every day. It's appointment television. She gets every fucking puzzle. She's a genius when it comes to it. So I'm really hoping I can find a way to finagle to get her actually on there. But at the very least, she's going to get to go spin the wheel, and she has no fucking idea, and I'm so excited.
That's amazing.
So
oh my God, that's going to be so cool.
So I do know the 5th is the Saturday.
Okay, so then, the 5th is when the PLE is. It's a 6 p.m. start time because, like they said, there's a UFC fight apparently starting at like 9 or 10 that night, and they don't want the TKO companies competing with each other.
Got it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's an RFC game that day, so I think I'll have to catch a replay. But still, the earlier times are just I'll take them at all costs, please.
Yeah, the earlier PLEs, earlier anything early these days, man. I played soccer on Tuesday at 10 p.m. You know how how bad that was for me. It feels good to move, be active. You know what I mean? It was the next day.
You wake up
I'm still
way earlier
than
the average person.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm still tired, man. I am still tired.
Like you telling me that made me feel exhausted. I can only imagine how you feel.
Not great, Bob. Not great. So Bad Blood, they're starting to, we're starting to see what it's going to look like. The matches are starting to be set. Yep. Cody and Solo, we're getting that again in. Well, no, wait. I'm sorry. Am I misremembering? Is Cody and Solo for next week, or is that Bad Blood? Steel cage match?
Good fucking question.
You know what? It might be next week because I doubt they do a steel cage match and a Hell in a Cell on the same night.
I know. So that's
it is because I think it's basically like I think they promo it as like that's how we're wrapping up WWE week on USA.
Oh, okay.
Even though
so we're getting that next week. So
we're going to see, but I think it is next Monday.
So they didn't solidify a Bad Blood match, though.
No, not yet.
Okay, so that's all right. But regardless,
which gives us hope of what?
Which gives us hope because I don't want another Cody and Solo.
No. I think they leave Cody off altogether.
Maybe. Well, no, we've been using him in all the teasers, and he's from Atlanta.
Right? No, I know, but like you're getting like who do you book him with? Do you do a tag match of some sort?
It's probably going to be Solo again or Jacob Fatu. It's going to be somebody from the Bloodline.
The werewolf.
It's not going to be Kevin Owens again.
Cool. Yeah, no.
Maybe it's Metro Boomin. Maybe it's Metro Boomin. Maybe the next vignette we get is Metro Boomin like, Cody, what the fuck are we doing here? And he just beats the shit out of him in the car and walks into the arena.
That'd be sick.
Maybe that's what we get.
Maybe it would be... Yeah, maybe Metro Boomin is going to come out and they're going to drop the latest Drake diss track. Like, he's the one kind of been a part of the start of the whole shit.
That's true.
So we're getting that again. Other matches that we can expect at Bad Blood, Drew and Cody, which I'm pretty sure Nick...
Drew and Punk.
I'm sorry, Drew and Punk. Again, dad brain, tired brain. Drew and Punk, we're getting round 3. As we expected, we figured there had to be a rubber match, this time in a Hell in a Cell, which I'm pretty sure, Flannabam, you were saying. And yeah, I think that's cool. I think this feud was worthy of 3 matches. We knew it was coming. And, you know, Drew's promo on Monday night was cool. Setting up the match. Pierce came out and, you know, said this is Hell in a Cell. Where does it go? What do we think they're going to go with this? Because these are guys that also have legitimate, reasons to go for the heavyweight title as well. So what are they going to do?
I think it's probably going to be Punk. Because I think Punk Gunther makes a bit more sense because it's face heel. Where if it's Drew Gunther, I mean, the match still makes sense because people would love to see it, but it's like the heel thing.
And also, they teased Drew and Barrett.
True.
Yeah.
So Wade Barrett got up out of the commentators table over there
well done.
To step up and kind of go toe to toe with Drew. So now are we teasing a Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett return? That'd be pretty sick. That'd be a feud I'd be into.
I would be very much into. I'm assuming Wade would obviously be the face here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think Wade would be awesome. We know how good he is on the mic. We know how good he was as a worker.
He was great,
hopefully
man.
He's healthy and
underrated
good,
in my opinion.
I would love to see a return of Wade. That'd be cool as hell.
Same.
That would be really fucking cool.
Wade Barrett, in like the Bad News Barrett times,
some bad news for you.
2013, 2014.
Yeah.
He was fun. He was fun to watch. I love that. His podium he would come up on. I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
He's good, man.
And
there's so much you can tease out of that. Obviously, they have not buried their relationship. We've seen how close they are. So naturally, there's a lot of skeletons or things that you can make into skeletons from their past history that could really, really go over well.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense for me if they're going to move once they move on from Punk and Drew. You're teasing. I don't know if Wade is going to go. We don't know. We don't know if Wade's going to go full on feud with Drew, but it makes sense to tease it.
And I think similarly too is like, where do we see the architect?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when he comes.
So that's something that this just hit me now that maybe they could do. So I think the next pay-per-view after. The next PLE after Bad Blood would be Survivor Series.
Yes. Yeah.
Which they've already announced is going to be War Games.
In Vancouver.
So what if it's like a Raw? We kept saying we think it's going to be the Bloodline War Games, but
they're not there yet.
Exactly.
They're not there yet.
Next year.
They're not there yet.
And what if this year it's like Drew, Gunther, Ludwig, somebody else versus Wade, Punk, Seth, Jey Uso maybe? Sami Zayn maybe?
Orton.
Orton.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That could be fun. Yeah, 'cause that was my thing. Like, I'm thinking about it. And obviously, it being in a Hell in a Cell obviously makes a run-in more difficult.
Right.
Doesn't mean it won't happen. But that was my thought. I was like, is this where we finally get the kickoff of Punk and Seth? Where it's clear as day, Seth comes in, screws him, and we know that's the build. And then obviously Drew goes to, Gunther would make sense. But yeah, I think that's the only wrench I think that could throw in and that could potentially change it. Because otherwise, I would think Punk goes over.
But you could also then you could put Seth and Punk on the same team, like that whole heated will they, won't they thing, and then they win.
Yeah, because they're both faces. So
exactly.
They would be together.
Then you do, I don't love this because I don't want to end his title reign too soon, but you can make it work. You do Punk, Gunther at the Rumble. Punk wins. Seth wins the Rumble. Those two at Mania. Because I think the plan is Seth Punk at Mania.
I think so too, and that's why I'm thinking like Bad Blood is a perfect kickoff because you give yourself Survivor Series, you give yourself Rumble, you give yourself a few ways to have it all come together, and or let WrestleMania be the culmination of 2 or 3 matches like we're seeing here. So I definitely think that's where they're going. I'm interested to see where it goes.
That could even be where they do Drew and Barrett.
Yeah,
build to that at Mania.
Oh, 100%. And I think Gunther, there's no shortage of folks you can position and put there that makes sense. So, and he's obviously going to make everyone look good. So,
So, a few different ways you can go with that. I think that's pretty solid. We saw the Wyatt 6 in their full capacity now in a 8-person tag match. What do they call it?
8-person mixed tag.
Mixed tag,
It
but
was
like
it was weird.
Yeah, there was like a hardcore element to it.
Yeah, it was a street fight, I think.
Street fight, something.
A street fight, but
got to see Nikki Cross in action, really fully,
Loved
finally,
seeing her, too.
which was dope and fun match. I thought it was a cool way to start Raw.
Yeah.
And I just can't get past how cool the Wyatt 6 entrance looks on TV.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool. Like, it looks fucking awesome.
The production elements of it.
you saw it in person?
I saw it a little bit in person. It definitely is not as good as it is on TV.
I'm wondering because I was thinking the same. I'm like, this looks so good on TV, but I'm like, a part of that obviously is angles and the way
Yeah,
they shoot it.
it's a lot brighter in the arena than it looks on TV.
Right.
Like on TV, it looks a lot darker in there, and they're able to manipulate angles and all that stuff. So it's obviously different. I mean that
in this past week in particular, it took them a long ass time to get out there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, so we getting something more here? They're gonna come and sneak attack. So even that is like kept me on the edge of my seat.
it was cool though.
I can tell you, here's how long it took them to get out there. So I'll be honest, I didn't watch Raw live. 49ers were playing Monday night, so that obviously took precedent. But my plan was watch maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes of Raw, watch the game, pick up on Raw the next morning. But like the Wyatt 6 hadn't even made their entrance by the time I flipped over to the game to stick with the game.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So like it took at least 15 minutes for them to finally hit the ring.
No, it took a while.
They took their time for sure. But I love their entrance, and the match was great. I mean,
it was a great match.
It is gonna take some getting used to see like Ghost Nikki Cross hitting like German suplexes and stuff, but like it's still awesome. Like she's incredible.
She killed it. I thought she stole the show. In that match, I thought she stole the show. But a great match. And honestly, maybe I'm a hater. I don't know. Maybe I'm short sighted here. I didn't need the Uncle Howdy running. The match was so good in and of itself. I didn't even need that. Like I was like that. Not that it took away, but I'm like, yeah, I didn't need that at all. They all did their damn thing. I love all the tandem offense from the Wyatt 6. It's so cool and unique and just fits the gimmick so much because they're just like, we're just out here to cause pain, even if it's to ourselves. So they did good. And obviously American made, they all worked their ass off. So they made it even better. But Nikki Cross I think she stole the show for me. I'm excited to see where that goes.
I agree. She was incredible. It's just going to take some getting used to see like a Ghost hitting German suplexes and stuff.
If a Ghost is hitting German suplexes, I'm even more scared of Ghosts than I was before.
Right.
Ghosts are the scariest thing to me. I'm fascinated by ghosts and the paranormal, but I don't want them hitting me with the fucking German suplex.
No, I feel like we're in a scary movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. That's it exactly.
Literally. Take my strong hand. I mean, I'm all set. I'm all set with the ghosts hitting the Germans.
Poltergeist ain't got shit on Nikki Cross.
Yeah. Facts.
What was that?
The Poltergeist ain't got shit on Nikki Cross.
Hell no. She looks like the girl from The Ring.
Yeah.
I
think I get the vibe that was the inspiration.
That was probably the inspiration.
Because even like the dress is the same.
Yeah. Nailed it. But it was fun. Do we think this feud is over? Like, or heading to be over? Or
because like, where do they go from here?
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a scenario in which
like, what's the payoff if you save something for a PLE? You've already done everything.
Right.
Yeah,
in my head, is like, where do the Wyatt 6 also go after this?
Yeah, the only thing that made me think it's not over is with War Games and Survivor Series coming up, because you have kind of, you got your 5. You got 5 here. You got 4 American made, but need to grab one more to make it a full team. But that's the only thing I can see is you make it a traditional kind of Survivor Series match. But even then, like,
but my thing with that is that what's different than what they pretty
much
just did on
Raw.
Yeah,
like that's the thing.
You just add cages.
I don't see any way where that American made goes over at that point. Like, you wouldn't do that. So yeah, I think.
And that's the other thing. They definitely need to move on because they need to start getting wins.
Yes,
it works that they lost in this feud because you're debuting a whole new stable, but like they also now need to start getting some wins so they look 100%. Better.
They've also just kind of gotten buried the whole time because like even the one time they got Uncle Howdy on his own, like he just laughed at them the whole time.
Right.
So it's kind of like, all right, how do we believe? I know it was more important to WWE to build up the Wyatt 6 as this, powerful, new faction with a purpose, and their mission in life is to bring pain to those who abandon their family or wrong their closest people, right? Because that's what they're all about. And obviously with Chad Gable and what he did with the Alpha Academy, that was the beginning. You did that, okay? You buried the shit out of them. Let them go win and start a feud with somebody else. Yeah, where do the Wyatt 6 go next? Do they move on to
Jey Uso?
Jey Uso, maybe.
He abandoned his family in the bloodline.
Potentially. What about
and like maybe they want to actually make the Wyatt Six heels.
What about Dominic in the Judgment Day?
Dominic in the Judgment Day. Finn especially because he betrayed.
Yeah.
And
Damien,
Dominic and his dad.
Dominic and his dad. Yeah.
That could be good.
Dominic and Rhea. Like there's
Right.
a lot of things there, and the Judgment Day kind of needs. I know they still got the whole thing going.
That's the other thing though. They need wins now.
They need wins. That's true.
So I kind of don't want that one to be next because you don't want the Wyatt Six to lose anytime soon. You kind of want them to stay as like this, beast mode type group that runs through people. But like Judgment Day's been losing a lot lately. They kind of need to get some win. Like I think they announced Finn and Damien for Bad Blood, and I'm really hoping Finn wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like Judgment Day needs some wins.
And I definitely, I think he will. I think he's positioned, especially where Priest doesn't have the belt, so
Exactly.
it's
Right.
easy for Finn to go over. And I think, but obviously, they're positioning Finn for a title run,
yes.
for a world heavyweight title run. That's all he keeps saying in the promo. So yeah, I hope similar. My thing with the Wyatt Six is I wonder, is this the point where they kind of start to do their own things, where you might see Gacy and Loomis as a tag team.
Maybe they go beat the Judgment Day for the titles.
You have
That's
Rowan,
possible,
maybe Rowan's in, I don't know, U.S. Championship Intercontinental kind of area. Obviously, Uncle Howdy can go wherever. Sister Abigail can jump into a couple different feuds in terms of the women. So I wonder, is this maybe where they start to branch out a little bit and give them all a little bit more time on their own?
It could be.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, you have to stick to the theme though, because you can't build up the theme and do all these vignettes with Uncle Howdy and the reason why Wyatt Six exists, and then all of a sudden now they're just
for the world title.
now all of a sudden they're like, I want the gold.
Right.
I think eventually you could put some gold on them, but I still think for a while their feuds should revolve around some type of purpose.
Yeah.
And
People who betrayed other people,
right.
type of stuff.
Because then them haunting them and doing all that shit would make a lot more sense.
Right. I don't want it to happen. Like, I'm really not pulling for this, but maybe we see Xavier Woods turn on Kofi, and that's the next feud, them versus Woods.
Well, they got to do something with them now.
Because
I think they were already kind of building to that a little bit.
Right.
And then Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones.
Odyssey Jones says, well, I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult for you.
A lot more difficult.
But they absolutely teased it on Monday with Kofi. Kofi's like, last week while you were cosplaying, I was here trying to get the title. So you can see that even now I think they're more egregious with it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually am now wondering, though, like, is Kofi going to be the one to turn heel? Like, we all think it's Woods, and they're going to throw us the unexpected thing and have it be Kofi.
Hey, I'll take it.
Part of me thinks that may have been the plan originally, and like have Kofi and Odyssey be like a heel tag team.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I think similar to like what we've talked about with like maybe Bianca being the one to turn heel, which would be a surprise. I think that would surprise a lot of folks if it's Kofi.
Yeah.
A lot of folks.
Yeah, I mean, has he ever been heel?
I don't think
when they tried at the beginning of the New Day, that's it?
Yeah, I think that
was the only time that they was ever heel?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't.
The times the New Day, because I think there have been a couple other times the New Day were heels, but yeah, it's only when he has never been a solo heel.
Since the New Day originally debuted and they were heel. Right? Heelish tendencies. And then all of a sudden, the crowd made fun of them so bad that they flipped it on them, and then they became the biggest tag team, one of the biggest tag teams of all time. You think...
Didn't all that happen before the Dudley Boys stuff? Because I remember they were heels against the Dudley Boys. I thought that was like late 2015, 2016.
Yes, Dudleys came back in 2015. They were heels against the Dudleys? Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I think they
kept putting Woods through a table.
I remember that.
Yeah, outside of the very, very original one,
I do remember that.
Preachy as the New Day.
Right.
That's the only time I really remember them being heel. And
maybe their heel run lasted longer than I'm remembering. Because I thought there was a face turn in between there. Maybe not. Maybe that was just heels the whole time. And I'm just misremembering.
I think, you know what, maybe you're right. I think they were technically heels, but they were over as fuck.
Yeah.
I think they were just over the whole time that you forget that I think they were still being technically billed as heels.
Right.
Like asshole heels, don't care what you say, make fun of you type shit.
Very much felt like
because they had the trumpet.
Roman was a heel, and they were just
New Day socks
face down our throat. But yeah. Like I'm
hard to remember.
Having such a hard time remembering them as heels.
I just remember
in their runs, man.
I hate to say this out loud. That's 10 years ago.
I know.
Almost we're talking about the Dudley Boy stuff.
Yes, I know.
Because
10 years ago,
they're just coming up on the 10-year anniversary. That was my thing. Like the New Day 10-year anniversary is within the next couple of weeks. Is it not? I think they alluded to that.
Did they? I thought for some reason they formed in 2013.
What, the New Day?
I thought it was late 2013 was when they
because I thought they had been
2014.
They're about to get 10 years together.
Oh, maybe.
Because in my head, I was thinking the turn is going to coincide with that.
I think it was 2014.
In my head, I'm like, they're going to have a celebration where they're celebrating 10 years, and that's where the turn's going to happen, whether it's Kofi or whether it's Woods.
Yeah.
I remember the first time they teased that they were going to come together was they had been a couple burial matches type shit, and I think Xavier Woods was actually the one that like smacked Big E in the chest, smacked Kofi, and said, we need to do something about this. A lot of people around the time on the internet, classic, were speculating that they were bringing back the Nation of Domination.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
That was a big rumor. It's like, oh, hey, listen, we got a faction here compiled, made up of 3 black guys. So it must be the Nation of Domination is back.
Yeah, that same thing happened again with
internet,
the Hurt business.
The Hurt
business.
Exactly.
That was going to be, this is going to be the new Nation of Domination.
It's like that doesn't always have to be the Nation of Domination.
Which I actually have a Hurt business theory for later on.
Yes, a certain person has been saying a lot. MVP.
Yeah.
His MVP has been saying
MVP's pissed off. Yeah, MVP's been saying a lot. So they did not become the Nation of Domination. They became the New Day, and I think 10 years, that's an incredible run to basically never turn on each other.
No.
Big E's injury obviously fucked a lot of things up. Who knows what they would have done with them there.
Which is another reminder of like, why is Ridge Holland a thing still?
Yeah.
I'm watching NXT and I saw the turn and I get what they're trying to do, but it's just like, no. I'm sorry. I don't think there's and no offense to Ridge, but I don't know that there's anything that man could do to get me to become a fan of his.
No,
certainly
he's all right.
Yeah,
but I have no real feelings about him one way or the other. But I totally get where you're coming from.
And maybe it's because he's broken the necks of guys that really enjoyed wrestling.
They're like one of the most beloved WWE superstars maybe of all time.
Right.
No big deal. So
I feel like we're at the halfway mark here. Do we want to put the AC on?
Oh yeah, we can put the AC on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well, but
no. You know what's funny is that we can keep rolling.
It's a summer day outside.
I know.
I can't complain.
I had the AC running for the boys for about an hour, and then when I came in here to finish setting up,
it was like
shortly before you guys came here.
I know, because when I walked in, I'm like, ooh, that feels nice.
It was kind of cold in here, and then I was like, oh, but sometimes like it just blows
all this
on
hot
me.
air, man. All this hot air from what we're saying.
That's true.
Right.
It is a lot of hot air in
We're
here.
talking a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of BS.
Mostly me.
Yeah, same. So yeah, I mean, and then Raw. Another cool thing from Raw was Bret Hart being back. They were in Calgary.
That was cool.
It's always great to see Bret the Hitman Hart. Wrestling again is just the funniest. It's just the funniest thing that exists because Bret Hart, he talks a lot of shit too.
A lot of shit.
Bret Hart talks a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
And it's amazing sometimes how beloved he still is because he's a crotchety old man.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Look,
definition of get off.
I'm gonna be honest. He's my second favorite wrestler of all time.
But
like
you can't argue any of that.
He's such a bitter guy.
Yeah. I love Bret Hart. He's annoyed me in the last
but I also think
10 years.
Knowing you as a wrestling fan, like his style and character is not really like your thing.
Yeah, no.
He's very much a wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah, but I liked that then. You know what I mean?
No,
like that to me was like, I appreciated that. I appreciated how much he was about the business and all that stuff. I just don't like so much now where like
he shits on everything.
He's
way
just
too
kind of
much.
one of those guys that makes everything about him.
It's always back to him. Always, well, I lost so much money in it. I get it. Right?
Bill Goldberg.
I understand, but like, bro, what the fuck?
I'll be honest. The Goldberg thing, I get. Dude, and it is like he's never gonna get.
He
to wrestle
still
again.
wrestled for like a while after that.
I get it. I do get it.
I think he had like 2 more matches in WCW.
But I
think it was more than that.
It wasn't that long.
It wasn't. It was because he was on the shelf for like
He did
9 months.
wrestle like he wrestled like right after. He didn't take time off after.
And then he was with NWO.
Yeah,
and he didn't wrestle for ages.
He should have.
That was like his hockey jersey era. But I think
he had that
it's
shitty Vince match.
Yeah, that was bad. That was just Vince being like, "Hey, we want to be able to sell your merchandise again."
Oh yeah.
No, it's weird because I think similar. Like the point you just made. As a kid, I hated Bret Hart because he was the antithesis of Shawn Michaels, who was my favorite wrestler. So naturally, but then as I got older, I appreciated all the greatness of Bret Hart, the excuses, all of that. One of the greatest workers ever. All of that you can't deny it. And
the 1997 run, best heel run.
Yeah, also one of the best wrestling commercials of all time is him in the backstage and the kid yelling Bret and him turning around.
Like Mean Joe Green-esque type.
That's also like ingrained, burned in my mind forever. But yeah, it's just like what the fuck, and that's why I'm honestly so fucking glad they made the Goldberg dig. On Monday. Incredible. And I guess kudos to Bret because obviously he approved that.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that would have happened without him. So kudos to him for allowing that. But I'm so fucking glad they weren't there.
Yeah.
Because it's a meme at this point where like everything comes back to that. Even Goldberg did a interview recently with Chris Van Vliet and like same thing. Like they bring up Bret Hart, and he's like, I'm sorry. Like, yes, I fucked that up. But
it
like,
was an accident. I mean,
it was an accident. Shit happens. It's not like I purposely went to kick this dude's head off. You know, like,
nor
was
did I ever
green?
get any of the teaching and training I needed. So,
right. Like, I was green as fuck, but at the same time, I was over as fuck. So we made a lot of money, you know, and the company was making a lot of money. And I just, to me, when you're going now, what was that, 27 years ago, around 20, maybe less, 26 years ago?
97?
What year was that? 98?
98.
9.
Oh, was it 99? So 25 years ago.
Damn, it was 98?
I forgot it was
Yeah,
right.
because he did a match against Chris Benoit for Owens, like an Owen tribute match, because they did it in St. Louis on an episode of Nitro.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Shortly after Owen died, because it was the building he tragically passed in. So they did Bret Hart versus Chris
That's right.
Benoit as the main event, and then later that year.
Who is this Chris Benoit you speak of?
Sorry, right.
Name redacted.
They did Bret Hart versus Name Redacted, and I think it may have even been the main event.
I also love that Hogan used
that
Chris
was
Benoit
the most insane thing
as like the standard of like wrestling fans forgiving people.
If they
I don't think
forgive
anybody's
if
forgiving.
they forgive him, how can't they? What?
Nobody's forgiven Chris Benoit ever.
Yeah, but like Hulk Hogan's dumb.
Yeah, and he's been spending a lot of time in our area. He was down the street from my house.
He was, a couple nights ago.
Mean, like he's also he lies about a lot of things. One of my favorite stories ever is Hulk Hogan says he was supposed to be the original bassist of Metallica.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
Lars
great.
Ulrich, who plays drums for Metallica, was like, until just now I didn't know he played bass.
Dead ass.
So like, yeah, he wasn't supposed to be. They also, I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, he
phenomenal
said
movie.
Great
he
movie.
said I was supposed to be the star of that movie, and Darren Aronofsky, the director, is like, I've never met Hulk Hogan. I didn't offer him the role.
I don't know where he gets the. Well, I mean, it's the Hulk Hogan. He was whatever. You could say a lot. Yes. It's annoying to me. Again, another one that tainted a lot of his legacy because of things that he's done and said over the years.
One leaked video.
A couple. There's a couple of audios.
Yeah, I think that's what started it, and then he's just leaned into it from there.
And I also think too, like obviously as we've smartened up to the business and heard more and seen more behind the scenes, like he was just terrible.
Yeah, he was just a dick.
Like it was, literally that doesn't work for me, brother.
And he had creative control. He never used it.
Yeah,
he never used creative control.
No,
but it sucked because like as a kid, golden era, Hulk Hogan, everything, right? Like I have the Wrestle Buddy right here. I know whatever. You can go through and find all the memorabilia I have of Hogan.
Let's be honest, we're not doing this podcast without Hulk
Hogan is responsible for a lot of that. And then Hollywood Hogan is one of the coolest wrestlers of all time. I mean, like at the time we hated him, but like again, another one of those things that as I got older, I dressed up as Hollywood Hogan like 5 years ago.
I'm gonna say if you go back and watch like prime Hollywood Hogan, dude's corny as fuck.
Oh no, super corny.
I don't think like he was trying to be. I think like he's trying to be cool, and he's just not a cool
but
person.
But the look,
the
NWO,
especially as kids. Like I think in hindsight, again, with a lot of things we look back and we're like, damn, that popped us, that mark. But at the time,
dude, when he would just
Rodman coming out, the music, everything was just the spray paint was just again, it's cool as fuck because of where we were as like angsty teenagers.
But also just mostly because of Hall and Nash. Because those two are cool as fuck. Just
but Hogan had the cachet.
Oh yeah, he had the name value. To him,
absolutely. And he always had the belt and he spray painted it. He had it all. And then like now it's kind of just like, hey, I'm very much capable. I've had to do this for a lot of people that I'm a fan of in my life, unfortunately. Of separating a time in life, the art that I enjoyed at that time, and the people that they are now.
You got to separate the performer from the person,
unless it's an unspeakable. Whatever, like
like they murdered someone,
like Chris Benoit, for example. It goes back to the whole conversation.
But I think you raise a great point, Mike, about like time having to do with it. Because for me, I think certain people will look at it like, okay, Hulk Hogan, because at one point he was so integral and so important in my life, I'm always going to give him space in my life, even in 2024.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, it's like, no, I can look back and be like, yeah, as a kid, I probably wouldn't have been as invested and as excited in wrestling. I certainly wouldn't have jumped on the WCW bandwagon as a kid when he went there. I still remember him pulling up on the convertible, the press conference at Disney, all of that. So like I can have all of that, but now I'm looking at it like, yeah, there's really nothing moving forward, or since he's made those comments that I like he's lost all of those redeeming qualities for me. I can look back in hindsight at that, but like I'm not going to be able to be like, no, I still have a soft spot and I'm going to allow some of the dumb shit he does now because of the impact he had then. I think there's certain people who will delineate and be like, yeah, separate the art and especially the time frame, and there's certain people who will just be like, well, no, they were always going to have soft spot. I'm always going to be.
Yeah, and a lot of people still do. And I don't think any differently of those people either. Like if you still are able to do that, that's fine. Like I don't. It doesn't bother me. I don't look at people differently because of who they choose. As long as you're good to me, you're a good person to society. That's all that matters to me. Because I mean, there's a lot of people that I know that went and met Hulk Hogan these past 2 weeks, and I'm very close with that. I don't think any differently of them. Right. I just was like, I don't really know how I feel right now going to take a picture with a guy. Especially in my world, in the industry that I work in, and he disappointed a lot of people, and it would be hypocritical of me to go out and be like, hey brother,
right? I will say though, like, I guess to his benefit, even still, Hulk Hogan's charismatic as fuck though.
He is. Like, he still got some juice.
Doing what I do for a living, I had to watch the RNC, and I saw him give his speech there, and like I didn't agree with a lot of what he was saying, but I was like, fuck, I'm even kind of jacked up right now watching this. Like,
you see the still charismatic. People, like,
still make you pop.
Stores. Right, like, exactly. You get certain people to mark out.
Funny, another funny tidbit. Shout out to our guy TJ Albin at ABC6. That's my dude. He went to talk to Hogan at one of the local liquor stores that he was at these past couple of weeks, and TJ asked him about a dream match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And then he was like, but talking more about it on the beer standpoint now, because Hogan's been going around pushing his beer, All-American beer, whatever the hell it's called. And TJ's like, so with that being a dream match for a lot of people, it was a great question. Did you reach out to him about advice about marketing beer? Starting a beer, because Stone Cold has the Broken Skull IPA and the lager. It's very successful. And Hogan goes, oh yeah, I reached out to him. He actually is the one that told me to make this a light beer. So again, if this was anybody else, I might have been like, oh, that's pretty cool by Stone Cold. Like, but then you think about it, you're like, why the fuck would Stone Cold tell Hulk Hogan, like, yeah, make it a light beer? And why would Hulk Hogan go to his people and everybody involved and be like, hey, Stone Cold told me to make this a light beer? So he's like, oh, because, Stone Cold's got the IPA, market locked down, brother. So he told me to do a light beer. And he was right about it, man. This shit is delicious. And I'm like, I don't think Stone Cold ever told you that. I don't even think you probably ever talked to Stone Cold about it.
And also, I think that's the perfect microcosm of what Hulk Hogan has done to us. It's like everything he says, you got to take with a grain of salt. Yes. You got to be like, did that actually happen? Or did that just happen in your head, Hulk?
Anytime I hear Hulk Hogan say anything now, I doubt it until I hear somebody else.
I need corroboration from like multiple sources that are refutable and respected.
Not like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. An actual reputable source.
Not beyond a reasonable doubt.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Is the definition of Hulk Hogan these days.
I need Macho Man Randy Savage, R.I.P., to confirm it.
Yep. Yeah. And Lanny Poffo.
Yes, exactly.
I need both of them. But both R.I.P., but I need both of them.
There was lust in his eyes. So yeah,
be
anyways.
Man, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, be a fucking man. This whole conversation began because of Bret Hart was back.
And he's bitter.
And he is a bitter bitch. No, I'm just kidding. That was cool. It was a cool moment.
Cool. I know a lot of folks, I don't know if you all noticed, like, the graphic of him and how, I guess, according to some folks, was so photoshopped. He really
they made him look way better than he actually does.
Hilarious.
Also, though, shout out to Bret Hart, because allegedly he was actually like really sick that day, and they didn't even know if he was going to make it on TV.
Oh, really?
Like, they were planning like an alternate for if he couldn't do it, and he was like, no, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, and it was funny because he looked, and again, to that point, it actually make a lot of sense because he looked very uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, even walking down the ramp, you could see him mouthing some things to, who was he walking out with?
They walked out alone, I think.
Or maybe who we got out of the ring
Sammy
with.
Came out.
Sammy came out.
You could see he was like asking a lot of questions. He had a noticeable limp. You can tell in the interactions he had some. You could tell he was still trying to figure it out. But I want to give him credit because when he actually turned that mic on and spoke, that promo was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't miss a beat. He was on cue. He had him in the palm of his hand. So it's one of those things funny because it's like, you can see they just flip a switch.
Yeah.
Like, you might take your hard time to get to the ring. You might have to ask some other questions. But when that light's on and your mic's live, he fucking turned into the hitman.
Professionals always know how to do it.
It's crazy. It really is. It's like if it's at the sometimes, like you said, all it takes is that mic light going on, that camera light going on, and they can just flip the switch. As soon as it goes off, it's back to meow. Systems are down.
Yeah, and that crowd was hot, man. Gunther could not get a word in edgewise. They were hot.
That's why I'm excited that War Games is going to be in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Continue to give these PLEs to countries that don't typically get PLEs. I know Canada, whatever, but it's not frequent that they get them there.
No,
so I mean, so they'll it's going to be a hot crowd.
They did Money in the Bank in Toronto earlier this year, and I think that was the first time like in years that they've been to Canada.
And
so
I love
this is
that,
cool.
like, it's not Toronto. It is Vancouver, and it
Right.
was Calgary, and they are going, Edmonton, and they're going all these different places, so that's awesome, too, because we know, like, Canadian fans are just, I think, awesome in general.
Yeah.
But certainly for wrestling, so I think, lean into that as much as we can.
I will say the one potential negative for them is it's in Canada during hockey season, so, like, maybe fans could be a bit on the fence about going.
I think the fact that it is Survivor Series and War Games, in that I saw something earlier, was like they're putting like Roman's on the poster. They're like, so he'll definitely be back by then. I think he's going to be back a lot earlier than that.
Yeah.
But I think folks will turn up for it.
I don't think they're going to do Bloodline War Games because, like we said, they're not there yet. But I could see one-on-one solo Roman at Survivor Series.
Sign me up. I'll gladly take that over Solo and Cody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same. I'm done with that.
Give me that all day. Shit, give me Jacob Fatu and Roman.
Yeah.
If that's you got to get through my enforcer first, I'll take
the problem with that, though, is that's
going to be the better match. I know.
More hyped up for than the solo one.
But
I know. They're kind of in a tough spot.
That was my thing.
But I think they know it internally, and I think they're purposely, like, the last few weeks, what we've seen from Jacob, like Cody calling him out in the different spots he's been in. Clearly, I think internally they're like, all right, we know this is the guy.
Yeah.
And we have to start to make this pivot so that ultimately when we do get that, it is on the marquee Roman. If it's not Rock, it is Roman Jacob Fatu.
But also, like, did you guys watch NXT this week?
Yes.
Did you notice who didn't show up with them?
Yeah.
So, I think, like, even WWE's picked up on it that, like, Bloodline's going to go to NXT, not you, Solo. You're going to hang back here.
Yep.
We want to actually pop this crowd.
And it wasn't until they did I think they showed it at the end when they had them walking out, and it was under his breath where Tama Tonga was like, orders the tribal chief. But they made sure to do that very subtle at the end, whereas Jacob was the one who came and made the big splash and the big entrance. So, I want to give Tongaloa some credit. I want to. I bury him every fucking week because he's been deserving. But
he's my favorite member of the Bloodline right now.
He looks good.
Ironically.
Yes. 100%
I think before it was for other reasons. But like last few weeks, he's looked good. He got rid of the eye patch. He looks like he's back to full speed. He's on the mic. I think he's getting back to what we've seen before from him in Japan and what we've, I think, expected from him. So kudos to him. At least he's not fucking up weekly.
Right, yeah.
It almost felt like it became a meme.
I know. It was hilarious.
It sucks because I felt like his first couple appearances were really good. Like, I was excited about...
They were, but then you figure his first appearance, he missed his cue.
Almost. That's true.
And the ref had to pull... I still don't know how the ref pulled himself out of the ring.
That was impressive.
Like, he did some sort of, like, backwards worm. Like, it was the caterpillar. It was fucking awesome. He saved the day.
There must be, like, a backup move refs have to have in mind if something is like
break glass in case of emergency move because someone else missed their cue.
But then you also have the one where he low blows Kevin Owens, was it? And he misses, but then if you see it from the other side, he punches Tama Tonga in the face when he's low blowing him.
And that was also when he lost his eye.
Yes.
So poor guy.
Then there was the thing with Cody where he missed the corner, where he missed the turnbuckle. So good.
It was every fucking week.
I fucking love Tonga Loa.
Oh my God.
He's my favorite. His fucking chops in New Japan.
Yeah.
I need
his actions in Jacob Fatu's one-liners are just...
I need a compilation of just Tongaloa fuck ups.
Give me that with Jacob Fatu audio over it. I love you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So we'll see what the hell happens.
The bloodline, man. The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. Elsewhere in that family, Jey Uso has earned himself an Intercontinental Championship match against one Braun Breaker. And I think that's cool. Now, is Jey Uso currently in a position that we found LA Knight in not too long ago, where extremely over, kind of in a weird spot where, like, kept getting leapfrogged a little bit? Right? In feuds and in title opportunities, always a threat, always involved, but never the guy. Braun Breaker, really, they've built up a lot. Is this the moment for Jey Uso? No, right? I don't think it is either. So
I think so. The problem with Jey Uso is they have the plan with him to put him back with the bloodline eventually, and they don't know what to do with him in the meantime.
So they're you have to keep him like
that's the thing. Like, this guy's mega over already, so we got to keep putting him on TV.
The top 10 selling shirts in the company.
So hey, let's put him in this IC title feud that he's gonna lose. We got to keep him on TV. We need the crowd to keep eating
Yep, I think.
But they had no actual plan for him. I don't think now.
I think they got him under the warmers. Like you go to when you go to like a family party, and the little fucking warmers underneath.
It's like they light the little fucking.
They are working their ass off to try to keep that food warm for a while because I think this is gonna be a late arriving crowd in terms of the bloodline coming and him going into that. So I think they don't really know what else to do, and they know he has the cachet. No one's gonna question him being in those matches.
No.
But also because of the opponent and the push for Braun Breaker, I don't think anyone's gonna question Braun Breaker going over.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but does he lose clean?
I think he might.
Interesting.
Just because it'll help Braun look even stronger.
Yeah, and I think Braun is deserving of it. I'm a big Braun Breaker guy, so I think that he's deserving of it.
He is. Every single turn, every single thing, he's lived up to the hype. He's answered the bell. He's been awesome on the mic, in the ring. I love how comfortable he is on the mic now. And he's got the crowd in his hand. The other day when he was like, all the dogs are barking, before he even got it out, all you can hear is the crowd erupting. Like, he's got him in the palm of his hands, and he's doing the damn thing.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this time next year he's world heavyweight champion.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I don't see why not. I think that's a title. I hope they go away from like the extremely long title reigns for a while. I'm not saying like every month, like the Attitude Era, but I'm saying like it doesn't need to be a year.
Like Damien's length, he was like 100 days, give or take. Like that's a good length to then start rotating.
And you look at Damien. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the world who would argue that even after the belt, that run put him in an upper echelon.
I agree. I think the belt put him there.
So much.
And the run they gave him, the opponents they gave him, everything they did it put him in a better place. So like naturally, you had to take the belt off him at some time. But I think even now with Finn, that feud is gonna be awesome because of the way they built him up.
But there's so many people that are worthy of that title. Drew, Punk, Rollins, Finn. Braun Breaker, eventually Jey Uso,
these guys who haven't.
There's Sami Zayn. There's so many guys that you have such an incredible heavyweight like division if you wanted to, and then there's still some of those guys that are down like Jey Uso and Braun Breaker, previously Sami Zayn, that are still in the IC title, but still, I mean.
And then look at NXT. Look at the Obafemis, the Joe Hendrys, the Trick Williams, who within a year are going to be in the similar spot of where Braun is now.
Right. Yeah. So it's the U.S. title, the IC titles, and that's when you elevate LA Knight. And
I think that is the downfall of having the best roster.
That dude's like 45, 46. Like he's not young.
And everybody's saying, he's so good.
I guess is the downfall of having this most stacked, talented roster ever. Is how do you make room for all of them? Right. And I think to your point of. Yeah, title runs have to be shorter. We're not going to see another Roman Reigns title run for ages. We know this Cody run is going to be a longer one, naturally, because of the story. But even, I think, as of Mania coming up next year, I can see him dropping it.
I think he's going to drop it
and going back into the shuffle because you're not going to, I don't think you're going to see him.
You're going to lose the audience if you keep that strap on Cody longer than the next Mania.
My only fear, though, is with that title specifically, that's where the long reigns are going to come. Because I think Cody's going to lose it at Mania. I still think he's going to lose it to The Rock. I think The Rock's just going to go away and be champion
That's
for a
the
while.
brand title, though. So, yes, you're probably going to see longer reigns with that belt. And I also don't think you want to overdo Cody. But if The Rock, The Rock's probably going to win it. But like, what he has to make appearances. You can't take the belt and just disappear.
Brock Lesnar did it.
Brock Lesnar did do it. Roman kind of did it.
Not kind of. He very much did it.
Yeah, he kind of.
Are we in a different place
I'll be honest with you. You have a thing
where they won't allow
that we'll get to later. You have a list that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's where we're going to wrap.
Roman's not on that list because he didn't wrestle enough matches.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's true. I mean, list is interesting. I actually think the list is decent. Like I
think so.
I haven't seen the whole. I've seen the top 10.
I've only seen top 10. Yeah, and there's nothing.
Yeah, I have a full 500 list here, but we'll talk about that. Later, teasing there.
But also backtracking a bit. It hasn't. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but like. We're probably going to get Sammy and Gunther at Bad Blood, right?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
what it's building to.
Yeah,
I think so. They confirmed that on Monday.
Monday night was kind of like your coming out.
They've also been going at each other the past couple weeks.
Yep. Yeah, and we expected that. We kind of called that when Sammy dropped the IC title. Right. It's like that's his next move that makes sense. There's no other feud that he can kind of carry over to, wait out a Gunther feud with somebody else.
Right.
Throw him in there with him.
Right.
It gets you to the end of the year.
Because you literally pick up the same story.
Yeah.
Right? The same story. Yeah. Like, okay, from Gunther perspective, you couldn't beat me for here. So
let's do this again.
This is going to happen. You're certainly not going to beat me for this title because you're definitely, if you're not deserving of the IC, you're not deserving of this. It works perfectly.
And the other thing, it puts some doubt into who's going to win because Sammy already beat Gunther.
Yeah,
right.
Now you're like, oh shit, he could do it.
He can do it, and he did it clean.
He did clean.
No,
Also, shout out to Sammy for the Joe jersey. That was sick.
Yes,
and a nice
that was
touch.
awesome. Yeah.
Also, shout out to WWE just for the tribute in general.
Yeah.
You made
Even
me cry
just
at 10:30 in the morning, which I was
I
not
cried a lot this week.
expecting.
Very
to do
emotional
this
week.
Yeah,
but
that was
It's
good.
a very emotional week, and I turn 33 tomorrow. So,
That's true.
well, by the time you're watching this today,
unless it's later, and then it was whenever Friday was.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. That's my birthday, and I was born on Friday
I was
the
going to say,
13th.
weren't you born on a Friday the 13th?
I was born on Friday the 13th.
13th, my lucky number.
Nice.
I think I actually heard you saying this on the radio the
Yep.
other day.
Hence
Like,
the
yeah, exactly. Hence, and most people are like 13. That's an unlucky number. I'm like, maybe for you.
Yeah,
Not
lucky number for me.
It's always
Same.
been good to me.
Same, bro. Same, legit. And anyways, that's definitely 13. Because I was born on Friday the 13th. It's always a fun fact. The only bad thing about my birthday is Tupac died on my birthday. And that's also a not fun fact that I like to tell people.
also full circle in the crying thing. Johnny Gaudreau, number 13.
13.
Yes, number
Yeah.
13, full circle.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. So
Yeah, that story's still fucking with me, man.
Yeah,
It's like the way it played out.
I can't even-
I can't believe we have to say this in 2024 with all the fucking apps that are out there. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking drink and drive, guys.
yeah, it's really not hard. It honestly is not. It's
not hard at
No,
all.
it really
it's
isn't.
literally
It's-
like the easiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
It is actually easier unless. Listen, if you want to make the excuse that you don't have money and you can't do an Uber or some type of ride sharing
Walk.
program,
You can literally call the cops.
Also,
Yeah.
then if you don't have
call
money,
the police.
They will come pick you
also
up.
if you don't have money for an Uber, you didn't have money to go out drinking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's more
No.
embarrassing and shameful and things you have to live with for the rest of your life to have a tragedy like that happen than it
Yep.
is to have to call your mom for a ride or
Seriously.
somebody for a ride.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Or to just sit it out for the night.
Yeah, wherever you are. Yeah, again, like you said, the world in 2024, there never was an excuse,
No.
but I'd be lying if I didn't say when I was a late teen or in my early 20s, I didn't drive after I had a couple because
yeah.
I thought I was invincible
Right.
and et cetera, and all those things that now with maturity I realize is dumb as fuck. But yeah, there's no excuse. And for someone who I don't even like to drive, period. So I
Yeah.
definitely don't want to get behind the wheel.
Nope.
No,
Hell no.
Absolutely not. Insane.
Hell to the no.
Shouldn't have to be said.
It's just sad. That story is fucking infinitely sad. I mean, that to me is a story that has messed me up as much as when Jose Fernandez died.
Yeah.
that was
That was
Yep.
I don't know. I
when
was,
when D Gordon cried.
when D Gordon hit that home run, I think
cried
that's one of
like
the
a
best
baby.
moments
It
ever.
feels awkward and almost bad to compare them, but like only because of the other stuff. This one might almost be worse because like it was the night before their sister's
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
What's
No,
supposed
I-
to be
yeah.
the happiest day of her entire life became the worst day of her entire life.
Matthew Gaudreau's wife is pregnant with
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
child.
Like,
yeah, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
The more you heard was just
It's awful. So
even
it
more
was good on
devastating.
WWE for
Yeah,
that
it was.
tribute.
It was.
Sammy to come out in the jersey.
Maybe we move on to another topic. I don't necessarily want to
Yeah,
cry
well, I was
on
gonna
the
say because
podcast.
we mentioned, so
Yeah.
you made a good point of another match. Another match that is confirmed is Rhea and Liv.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting that at Bad Blood.
Let's go.
I'm kinda hoping. I know we had talked about it before, and we all had said that maybe that's a Hell in a Cell match. I don't know if they're gonna go with two. Maybe they will because you have one men and one women's.
Was
match.
the last women's Hell in a Cell? Was that Trish and
That was Steel Cage, Trish and Becky.
Yes.
Steel Cage? That was a great
That was an
match.
incredible match.
Great
Yeah.
match.
So
yeah.
like, I would love. Obviously, we know it's confirmed now. The other day, I would love if that is a Hell in a Cell as well.
I would too. I get the feeling they're going to want to just do the one Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would love it if they did make that a Hell in a Cell.
I think
hope
that'd be
they
cool as
do.
hell.
I hope
I
you're
hope
right,
so.
but
I hope
I
they
get
go
the
to
feeling
two.
that they won't.
That's
Which
gonna
I
be a
can
great
totally
match.
see. I can say bad. Yeah, it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Um,
Do you guys think they're going to put the title back on Rhea? Or do you think they let Liv run with it more?
That's interesting. I don't know.
I don't know because I feel like obviously the Judgment Day has a lot of gold now.
Right.
So I think it's sticking with the theme of a lot of gold, but then also, I mean, yeah, it's Rhea, so her not winning is not going to hurt her, but her continuously losing to Liv for the belt is going to
yeah.
send a message. Of
Unless
is she
there's
not-
fuckery involved.
Which there
Exactly.
easily
I
could
think
be.
I would say like. If I had to say today, I think Rhea goes over, but 100% Liv. There's no way Liv goes over clean.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no.
Absolutely no way.
Yeah,
she
I agree
goes
with
over
that.
clean.
My thing I'm wondering, regardless of who wins, is where do each of them go after this?
Yeah.
Because
I
like
know.
this has definitely got to be the blow off for them, and then
I
like,
would. You know what I would love?
don't know where either of them go.
I would love, and I don't know if she's healthy or ready or anything, but I would love if the match ends with Charlotte screws Rhea.
That would be
And then
sick.
we can build towards that till Mania. Because sign me the fuck up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Rhea's got to win again.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why.
she's
Yeah.
1 and 2 against Charlotte. Like she needs some more
Yep.
wins.
Yeah.
And I think now she's obviously well positioned to
Yeah.
to pick up where she left off, winning the title
I
from her at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so we're getting Bad Blood is starting to take shape. We're excited about that. Do the Kayfabe cousins want to give us an AEW updates? Because I know there was All Out this past weekend.
All Out.
I didn't get a chance to watch. I saw some of the major stuff. I caught bits and pieces of Dynamite, but you guys are more well versed in it. Just give us a couple of highlights, a couple of
So I missed All Out, so I'm gonna take. I've seen the highlights, but I'm gonna follow your lead.
The biggest takeaway from All Out.
So 2 big takeaways from All Out. Go out of your way to watch Pac Ospreay. That match was fucking incredible. Any other year, that's a match
denominator
of the year.
here,
right? Yeah,
William fucking Ospreay.
Yeah.
And sorry to cut you off. If the match of the year candidates, if you give me 5, and if
they're
at least
all 5
4,
Ospreay
if at least 4 out of that 5 don't involve Will Ospreay, I'm calling bullshit.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm calling bullshit.
Any other year, this is match of the year. This year, it's at best Ospreay's 4th best match, which is insane to think about the year.
Danielson, him,
Swerve.
Even the match he had with fucking Kyle Fletcher, the
MJF Dynamite match. Yeah.
I mean, holy shit.
So, and then Hangman and Swerve were fucking intense in that steel cage match. They did a needle spot that a lot of people are up in the air about.
Fucking nuts. Through the lip.
But
a lot of people talking about
incredible.
a lot of violence.
Yeah,
and graphic violence in this in this pay-per-view. I think they still call it.
There was a lot of
Willow
blood
and Statlander.
That match was really good.
They beat the shit out of each other.
Did. No Chris Jericho, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. You see, he's trying to trademark.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. You see, he's trying. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, go off, King.
He's again wearing this orange fucking jacket that he's claiming. It's just like, dude, that was a storyline from 5 years ago.
Right.
Like, do you not have anything that badly?
No, he's got to recycle everything, but call it different now because he's doing it in a different tone.
Yeah,
that's insane. But
he loves himself some Jericho.
So those are the 2 big things from All Out. I'd say it was a really good show. If you have 4 hours to spare, go and watch it. But
the ending
of All Out,
Mr. Danielson. So
that technically wasn't the ending. The ending was
that wasn't. The cage match was the ending, but
right. I forgot all about that actually. Blackpool Combat Club turned on Danielson, and John Moxley tried to murder him.
Yeah.
Everyone but Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
And then they put a plastic bag over his face and tried to murder him.
Suffocated the man.
And then later that same show, fucking like the next match, Swerve gets a needle through him. I was like, there was some intensity in All Out.
Yeah, it got a little violent.
It got intense.
Yeah, that
reminded me of like the video game Manhunt. You guys ever play Manhunt back in the Rockstar games?
I played the video game. Arguably my favorite childhood game in real, like physically in real life, playing Manhunt.
Oh, in real life, yeah. No, like video game was extremely violent. It was like banned in many countries. It was made by Rockstar Games. It was like, but it had like kill scene, like when you were to like sneak up on people like and kill them, you put a bag over their head and then fucking like beat their shit with a bat.
So that's what Tony Khan is.
That's probably what he inspired by. Yeah. He was like, "Yo, Rockstar Games, I'm gonna steal this idea real quick."
I'm glad you said that because the match was between
him and Jack
Perry and Dan. It was all right. It was fine, but like it wasn't anything special. So I forgot all about that because the match was whatever. But yeah, I mean that was a cool moment. I'm very intrigued to see where that goes, especially with how
Wednesday went,
how Wednesday opened, and then later on when Moxley called out Darby, and they did the confrontation that at Grand Slam would be the two of them against each other for the future title match.
Yeah, it was interesting. I guess maybe I don't know if you saw that coming, him turning on Danielson. I didn't, but maybe we should have from what he was saying to Giovanni and what
I saw some people talking about it.
Yeah, I just didn't piece it together, honestly.
I saw Moxley turning. I didn't see the rest of them turning.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what really got me.
That too, especially because they just won the trios belt. So it's like you win the trios belt with Yuta, and I guess Yuta has obviously lived up to the billing in BCC, but Pac doesn't surprise me. Like he is absolutely a villain in all ways. Castagnoli at his purest form is. So
that was my favorite thing I saw. They do now. I saw a bunch of people online. They were like, "Oh shit, Eddie Kingston was right about him all along."
So I was like, "Oh my god,
that was actually really funny."
That would be cool if somehow Kingston's return is
involved in that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Sick. I don't know if he's at all ready to come back. But.
So I've seen a lot of people talk online that they think this is going to result in Shane McMahon coming in, which is entirely possible.
To be leading that
group.
Huh. Did I say that a couple weeks ago?
I think you did.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
I will say a very out there theory that I actually have is apparently MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin have been in talks with AEW. Maybe they join that group.
Okay. The Nation of Domination.
The Nation of Domination is
We're back. Okay, very good.
Yeah,
exactly. This is going to be incredible.
One Nation of Domination.
Right.
It's gonna be the gif of that like random like white skinny kid in the crowd with his fist up,
Yeah.
and the sunglasses on.
Yeah, that's cool. And I guess that makes sense because I know I saw the other day Lashley was removed from the active roster and was just on like the miscellaneous.
Well, I know his contract
roster.
is run out.
His
Like,
contract is up. So
MVP got released.
We know MVP's not going back to WWE.
Nah.
That was not anytime soon.
It's going to be interesting though, because last I heard, MJF and Jericho hate each other. Like they almost got into a fist fight on Jericho's
feel a lot better
cruise.
about MJF even. And
I mean MVP. Sorry, not MJF.
Okay, well,
MVP.
Hopefully MJF doesn't like me.
I've been in the same room as the both of them. But at Wale Mania 2 in Dallas, we were, when they had like a little VIP area, we were chilling with MVP and Jericho, and they were shoulder to shoulder buying shots.
So they may have still been friends then. It was
2016.
It was around like a lot of it's over Trump.
I was gonna say,
well,
that's what I was gonna say.
thing
2016 makes sense timing wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, like,
this was before
he was Trump's biggest donor.
Oh yeah. So I think you were like 3 months too soon.
Yeah. Okay. So then it was
Damn.
shortly after
Right.
that.
So then
Okay.
shortly after that, they apparently hate each other. They like I said, they almost got into a fist fight. Like Jericho was saying shit to MVP on his cruise in front of his elevator, and MVP's like, "Come fight me then." And Jericho said something along the lines of like, "I only fight stars," and then got in the elevator and left.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
classic.
along those lines. I don't
Douchebag.
remember it verbatim.
It's a classic line.
Yeah. But I could see they've been in talks, so like I could see them joining that Moxley faction. That'd be sick.
That would be fucking like a super group. It'd be like
Right.
the Avengers.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that'd be wild. Yeah, you figure Moxley, Pac, Marina Shafir, Claudio, the three of them. Shit,
I
that'd
think
be cool.
I also still think Wheeler is going to join. I think this
think so?
story ends with Wheeler turning on Danielson.
Okay.
I think that's how
Okay.
this story ends.
Yeah, cool. Because what I'm thinking is, what are they going to do with the trios belt?
Right.
Like, who
That's
do
the thing, you can't-
they just like rip it off? Do they do what the Bloodline did and just
Dude,
take it
I
off of
mean,
Wheeler and give it to Moxley?
The thing
No,
was-
Moxley's
so
not going to be in it.
The thing was, they
Marina
won it.
Shafir.
Right.
I mean, she's dominant.
Like-
she choked out Commander last
Right.
night.
They won it at All In because they were vacated. Are they just going to vacate it again like 3 weeks later in a
They're
storyline
fucking-
you had pitched? Like, don't do that.
If
Just
that's
have Wheeler turn,
the
and
biggest
that's where that
broken
comes
record
from.
in AEW. Vacation, tournament, new champ. Vacate, tournament, new champ. Like, what the fuck?
But then, quite possibly the biggest news from last night's Dynamite. On free TV, we're getting Danielson McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness and
At
Brian Danielson.
AEW Grand
the one
Slam.
that we never thought we'd see. That we hope.
No.
I know you said that was.
Yeah, that's my favorite
That was the one
non-WWE
you
match.
wanted. Yeah, like I'm super excited about it. It was again funny how it came out because
Yeah.
obviously they needed to do the Darby Moxley thing first to
Right.
then open it up for that to happen. But yeah, I was obviously once Nigel came back, I think we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to happen at Wrestle Dream as what at least we think is going to be Brian's last full-time match. Obviously now getting that Grand Slam. You had mentioned before the show what you think might actually happen at Wrestle Dream. Did you forget?
I genuinely
The winner of Moxley.
Oh yeah,
Darby.
the winner of Moxley Darby is going to face Danielson at Wrestle Dream.
Because Wrestle Dream's only a couple weeks after. I think
it's
it's like
like-
the 22nd of October or
Yeah.
something.
So the winner of that will get more than likely get the title match at Wrestle Dream. There's also the whole Christian thing lurking around. 'Cause he's got the cash-in
Another
title
thing.
shot.
I love Christian, but I am starting to feel very Jericho-esque with this whole just presentation.
To an extent, yeah.
And production, and obviously we talked about the kill switch thing and what Nick Wayne is maybe being held back from.
Yeah.
I just don't. I
Man,
don't.
Nick Wayne is part of maybe the best match I've ever seen in person. It was him and Will Ospreay at a indie
There's
show.
that guy again.
Yeah, exactly. They did an indie show in Providence somewhere. I forget exactly where it was, like 2 or 3 years ago. Fucking incredible.
No, the
match.
kid's awesome, but we don't
Yeah.
really see him
No,
much.
like, let him do some
yeah,
stuff.
it would be cool. So, yeah, and then, like you said, the way Dynamite went down last night, Darby calls out. So, I think it could be, obviously, that they've said internally, it's been talked about that they're positioning Darby for that title run.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see Brian doing the job and dropping it to him at Wrestle Dream.
You know what just hit me? I could see them doing the 2013 Bryan to Darby. Darby beats Bryan like Bryan beats Cena. Christian then cashes in like Orton cashes in, and now Darby has to win it back later.
I would hate that.
But I could see them doing it.
I could.
Like
They clearly love
I
Christian.
don't.
So.
I don't want them to do it, but I could totally see them doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also we're getting Ospreay and Fletcher versus
Yep.
the Young Bucks for the
Yeah,
tag
they
titles.
won the tag title. But again, another one. It's just like they're obviously. Maybe I'm wrong. They're not going to beat the Bucks.
No.
So like another just team you throw together. So it's just like again the booking is like we see it from 100 miles away. We know this is how this is going to go.
What's surprising right now about AEW, because they used to be really good at it, is their tag division's lackluster.
Yes.
Like the way they book it.
Again, the way they book it, because
Yeah.
you still
It's
got
not the
FTR
talent.
there, you
Talent's
still got a
incredible.
lot of the same
Right.
teams. You claim all the people who were there.
But, like-
I think they've turned some of the good tags into trios, and
Yeah.
they get lost in the shuffle. But
Yep.
then you also got like the the Ring of Honor trios belts around Sammy Guevara, fucking Dustin, and
I think
and
that's
I don't
the
even.
regular Ring of Honor. No, that's the Ring of Honor tag titles.
Oh,
and the trios are the Von Erichs and Dustin.
Okay. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's...
I don't know. It's hard to keep up with, man.
Same. There's too many titles.
Yeah, there is. There's too many damn titles.
Too many titles. Too much wrestling. Never such thing. But
No.
we're going to wrap with this real quick because I think that the camera's going to die soon. The PWI 500 list has been revealed. Everybody loves this list. And Cody Rhodes, you're number 1 on the list. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, especially because from what I've heard about this list in the past, it's part like shoot, but also very part kayfabe.
Yeah.
So like the fact that he's been champion for so long played a big factor into it. His storyline played a big factor into it. So yeah,
that's
him being number 1 makes entirely
like in ring, sure.
Right.
No argument, but then when you take the out of ring and where he is positioned, it's hard to argue that there was
but
any
also like
bigger
wins
star.
and losses play a big factor into it as well, and he wins a bunch. So like
Right. Swerve coming in at number 2, Ospreay at number 3, Seth Rollins at number 4. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
he missed a few months.
But also the timeline is the end.
Oh, yes,
August
23.
Till the end of July.
Yes.
So like he was world champion for most of the
That's a
evaluation.
good point. Yeah.
Yep, through Mania.
That makes sense.
That does. Yep. That does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, MJF at number 7, Moxley at 8, Gunther at 9.
Yeah, Priest at 6 was cool, man.
Priest
Good
at
for
6.
Priest.
Shout out to
Who was
Priest.
5?
5 was
Naito.
Tetsuya Naito.
Tetsuya Naito, yeah. He worked for New Japan.
Yep.
Mystico at number 10. Yeah, I mean, your usual suspects in there. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see some of these younger guys making their way up. You know, Ilya Dragunov in the top 30, Trick Williams in the top 30. So it's cool. Mustafa Ali, I found pretty interesting coming in at number 19.
Yeah, he's been killing it on the indies.
The indie scene.
He's been on like a...
And on TNA.
Don't want to be hyperbolic, but like a post-WWE indie run reminds me a little bit of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like he's going everywhere and beating everybody and looking good doing it. And it's like clearly he's building up for wherever he's going to end up after this, but...
I could see him doing the Cody Drew thing of coming back and being a bigger star now.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I was curious, where's Joe Hendry on that list?
He's at 51.
51. Okay.
Joe Hendry's at 51.
But I also think similarly, you
right
said
ahead of Braun Breaker.
Had the timeline been a little different, I think he's probably like a top 25,
Next
top
year,
30.
he'll be
for sure.
much
Yeah,
higher.
he'll be much higher next year.
Next year, top 20 probably.
Granted, if everything continues to progress the way Logan Paul at 37 is interesting.
Femi was at 53 or so.
Yep, 53. Braun Breaker at 52.
Him and Hammerstone's match.
That was awesome.
Was fucking awesome. I thought it was Moose.
I thought so too.
I thought it was Moose.
I thought either him or even Omos.
Yes, yeah.
Because you haven't seen Omos in a while, so yeah.
Well, MVP has some thoughts on that.
That's very true. He does have some thoughts on that.
Interesting. Always cool to kind of see like a big power rankings of all of the wrestlers in every promotion, regardless of where they are in the world. So, any final thoughts, fellas, on this beautiful September night?
No, excited. Good wrestling. I think WWE week. Jesus Christ, on USA has been fun as hell. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what the 2-hour Raw looks like, even if it is in the interim. And I'm also just fucking excited for this Mr. McMahon documentary.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you brought that up.
We talked about the trailer last week. That trailer
looks
holy
sick.
shit, man.
And a lot of people I've started to see online starting to mirror my thoughts on why they're doing this. This is Netflix's way of separating themselves from Mr. McMahon. Of separating Mr. McMahon from WWE.
Especially because, maybe, because I've also read there are a lot of higher-ups in WWE that are kind of pissed about this documentary.
Are they? I know.
Yeah,
I did
but
see a lot of stuff about
now.
It's a
TKO thing.
They didn't get any editorial, any of that, which makes sense. But
this is a TKO thing. This is TKO and Netflix being like, hey, there's still going to be people that associate WWE with Vince McMahon. Yeah. This is probably something they were working on, but now it's... Listen, how many times did Vince McMahon use documentaries to bury people that he fucking had a falling out with?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's one literally called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
So, I don't think anybody feels bad about Vince McMahon anyways, but...
I think...
Is it?
Is it?
It's actually...
this is Ultimate Warrior Ultimate Collection.
Damn, so good.
Is that the one they put out when he came back?
Yeah, this is the one they put out after he... because this is...
They're like, oh, wait a minute. He didn't self-destruct until he self-destructed after that one Raw.
Yeah, this is 2014. This is new.
Okay.
He died that year.
That's
the year he died, yeah.
Actually, I think that came out post his death.
Yeah.
Such good shit in here, though, fellas.
Such good shit.
They make incredible documentaries.
Oh, yeah. So I'm excited for it. A lot of good stuff. Yeah. All the heavy hitters are being interviewed in it.
And I'm hoping it all comes out at once because just coincidentally, I'm actually on vacation that whole week. So I can't wait to binge watch it.
I don't think you're going to get that, though. I really think they're going to tease it out.
I don't know. I mean, they dropped Tiger King all at once.
It's 6 episodes. So I don't know how. What do you break it up? Two.
I hope they do.
I think they'll drop it all at once.
I think so too. I'm hoping they do.
Because the thing is, even if they do week by week, it's still not going to bring you to January.
No, of course
not.
not.
Had it been like this was coming out late November, December,
but they want you to have enough time to digest it and separate him from January. So that's probably why they're dropping.
And I think they want people to, not go to USA, but they want people to start getting in tune with the product before the change comes, so that they go over with them.
Definitely.
Also, Netflix just mostly does batch releases anyway. Like it's rare that they put stuff out.
Certain
on a week
shows
by week.
they do. They've been doing some. Yeah.
Like I
remember. I hope so. I can't wait to binge it.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be good shit.
So we're excited for that. That's gonna be really fun to talk. That's in 2 weeks. So I'm really excited to talk about that. But for now, we'll keep updating you on shit that's going down. I didn't see no turkeys outside today. Nope. So fucking gobble yourself on home. Kayfabe Cousins. We're back.
We're back, baby. 23. I think we did. I think we did any of the goats.
Yeah.
Justice. Today.
Any of the goats.
We did Christian McCaffrey.
I was going to say Christian McCaffrey. That's he was out money. He cost a lot.
Which means next week's Jordan Mason week.
Ooh. The Jordan Mason week 24.
24.
All right,
not
fair
Ken
play.
Griffey Jr. week.
Kobe?
No, of course it's Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, well, here
I was
Ken
going to say
easier.
because you're going to hear me on episode 25.
I was just making a joke about.
Oh, and man had a great week. Also,
crushed it.
Fuck the media, and or also. Secretly fuck the brass at the Niners and the coaching staff because I know why they didn't announce McCaffrey out until the last minute. I get it, but they also put my man Jordan Mason in a really shitty spot where the media had to twist some words and do some things.
Fuck the media.
It was shitty. I felt bad for the guy up there. He had the game of his life and he's got to answer dumbass questions about McCaffrey's health
about the fucking
and when
Friday
they told him and when they didn't.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, he fucking crushed it.
Speaking of which, I got to go get my bets in before tonight.
That's true.
Don't.
He's better.
Listen, raise your hand.
Your guys got paid.
Raise your hand if your team's 1-0. We can all raise our hands.
Yeah,
so that's fair. Fair play. Fair play.
We didn't have to dish out $1 billion last week to get there, but
hey, listen.
Yeah, we have. No, we have. But
you guys
kind of.
Oh, yeah, you kind of did too.
Yeah. I mean, we signed Ayuk and Williams very
late. You let one player
we
hold you hostage
we got
all year.
Yeah.
Or all summer, rather. All right. We'll see you guys back here next week. Peace.